Hello everybody, it's Damon Rosen. I'm in Kiryat Shimona, Israel, but today I want to talk about what is going on in the United States with the NFL player protest of the National Anthem. If you think Islam has nothing to do with it, you'd be wrong. Lyin Sarsour, the sewer whore, Muslim rights activist, is actively campaigning on behalf of Colin Kaepernick, the player that started the protests last year. Colin's girlfriend also happens to be a Muslim woman. I'd like you to listen to a couple of things that she has to say.
Colin Kaepernick is not doing this for Colin Kaepernick, because Colin Kaepernick could have easily said, I'm going to stand here and put my hand on my heart and say the Pledge of Allegiance. So we stand here today in support of Brother Cap, a man who puts his money where his mouth is. So not only did he kneel during the game in solidarity with the communities that he comes from, he has invested in uplifting and educating the blackest brown young people in this country.
Linda, if you don't mind my asking, how is disrespecting the flag of the United States educating and uplifting these young men?
We gotta be clear. Number one, we stand with Kaepernick. We want him to get signed. Because if the NFL can sign rapists, domestic violence abusers, animal abusers, then you know what? They can sign a man who stood up for what is right and highlighted the injustices to the underrepresented communities that he comes from.
From the community he's from? Would that be from the white parents that adopted him in Fond du Lac, Wisconsin, that community?
What we hope is that there are courageous white people who stand with us to call for an end to white supremacy that has oppressed this country from the days of its founding.
The United States was built on oppression? Linda, you're a Muslim. Islam has been subjugating people for 1,400 years. Muslims are still involved in the slave trade, and women have much less rights than men in the majority of your countries.
We got people over here on this side holding up Blue Lives Matter flags. So let's talk about that for one quick second, because that bothers me. So we want to be real clear, sisters and brothers, that when we talk about police and the systems of oppressive policing in this country, expect us anytime there is a fight for justice or a fight against injustice, you better expect us, because we will be there, and we will be there on the front lines, and that means putting our lives on the lines for justice.
An average NFL player makes approximately 50 times what an average police officer makes. And if you get to the upper echelons of the NFL, you're talking about hundreds of times what a police officer makes. How about that injustice?
So we want you to know that we will not be silenced by Blue Lives Matter, by white supremacists, by neo-Nazis, by right-wing Zionists.
Excuse me? White supremacists, neo-Nazis, and right-wing Zionists? Linda, last I heard, neo-Nazis were coming after guys like me. How are you grouping me with them?
Malcolm X said, if you are not ready to put your life on the line for freedom, take that word out of your mouth.
Being you brought up Malcolm X, I'd just like to remind everyone that he was assassinated by members of the Nation of Islam. And one more thing, Linda. There's no such thing as Palestine.